Hare Krishna, Yeshumati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This is Bhagavata.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavata Beta. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga and Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yasamadhi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, and all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Nitu Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, and all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yasomati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Kingdom.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, and all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for joining, Mataji, the call and giving your very beautiful association and chanting Hare Krishna. If there anybody else to introduce the call themselves.
Hare Krishna, Yeshumati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karuna Devidasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Devidasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and giving your very, very nice services to the Bhakti Sangha group. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances of glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Anuradha Devidasi from Dallas, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Anuradha Devidasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, and all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and always asking so many questions. Which one I wanted to ask, but it is very nice to hear from you. You ask all the time the questions and I automatically get all answers, Mataji. Hare Krishna, very nice.
Yes, Mataji, I also get answer by the question asking by Anuradha Mataji. Thank you, Anuradha Mataji. Dandavat.
Yeah.
Thank you for your association.
Okay, dear devotees, before we dive, I would like to read the today's quote by Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. If one is a poor man, he can go to some friend's house and accept food and then come back. But one should never accept residence in others' house. Letter to Hayagriva, July 14. Today we are so very fortunate to have His Grace, Govardhan Giri Das Prabhuji, to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, chapter 9, verse 148 to 152. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your very, very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. Now I hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I can start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatho Jayamudirayeet Nashta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkripatmaham vande Shri Guru Dinadarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I've been asked to read from the Chaitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, chapter 9, from text 148 onwards till 152. So that is some interesting portion covering the travels of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So text for 148 reads like this. Tabe Nityananda gela Sri Anantapure, Tabe gela Pancha Apsara Sarovare. Translation. Nityananda then went to Anantapura, and after that he went to Panchapsara Kunda. Gogarnakhya gela Prabhu Shivera Mandire, Kerale Trigartake Bule Ghare Ghare. He next visited the temple of Shiva known as Gokarna. He visited Kerala and various places in Trigarta. Dvaipayani Arya Dekhi Nityananda Rai Nirvindhya Payosni Tapti Brahmena Leelaya. He then visited goddess Parvati, who dwells on an island near Gokarna. Lord Nityananda also visited the Nirvindhya, Payasvini and Tapti rivers. Reva Mahishmati Puri Malla Tirthe Gela Purparaka Diya Prabhu Pratichi Chalila. He went to the city of Mahishmati on the banks of Reva river and he saw Malla Tirtha. The Lord then passed through the holy district of Surparaka on his way to the west. The word Pratichi refers to the direction in which the sun sets or the west. Hey Mata Abhaya Paramanandaraya Brahme Nityananda Bhayana Hikakahai. The fearless, ecstatic Nityananda Prabhu traveled in this way without fear of anyone. So this is basically 3-4 verses covering Lord Nityananda Prabhu's travel, and I don't know if this is a coincidence that I have been asked to read a portion where Nityananda Prabhu visited Anantapura, because I am extremely fortunate to be residing in Anantapuri. So this is a wonderful opportunity for me to share with all of you the glories of this wonderful Tirtha visited by Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This Anantapuri Tirtha is also visited by Lord Balaram himself. That is there in that mention is there in the Mahabharata also, that Lord Balarama also visited this Anantapuri. So that verse where we started is talking about 148. Yeah. Tabe Prabhu Ailena Kanyaka Nagara Durga Devi Dekhi Gela Dakshina Sagara. That is from Kanyakumari. If you see the Indian map, you will see from Kanyakumari, when you go, turn and go up, then you come to Trivandrum, and from there, when you travel by the coastline, you will also reach Gokarna. So that's like a coastline travel by Nityananda Prabhu. That is what is mentioned here. So Nityananda Prabhu coming to Anantapura or Anantapuri or Anantapuram, as we call it. It is also known as Tiru Anantapuram. Tiru in Malayalam and Tamil languages, something like Shri. we add Shri in Sanskrit. So Thiru is added as an honorific before a certain word, like we add Shri. Thiru is added as a mark of respect for something very holy. So the capital of Kerala today is Thiruvananthapuram. It's very, very wonderful that a place is named after the Lord who presides over. Like in Odisha, the town is called Puri, but everybody knows it as Jagannath Puri. But the official name of the place remains Puri. Whereas here in Kerala, the place itself officially is known as Thiruvananthapuram. That means this is the Puram, this is the place of Ananta Padmanabha. That is the name of the presiding deity of this Thiruvanantapura, which Lord Nityananda Prabhu visited during his travel. And in the recent years, or say in the last 20 years, this Lord Ananta Padmanabha deity became very world famous. Normally in India, if you see, the most popular deity is Lord Venkatachalapati, who is residing in Tirumala. That's in Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. I'm sure everybody knows. He's most popular in the sense that everybody is worshipping him. Everybody makes him their business partner because he is the one who bestows a lot of money. And people come and pour money over there. So that's Balaji, and he's also called Balaji. Very famous all over India. And some 20 years back, Ananta Padmanabha Swami also decided that he wants to become famous. And then they found, or rather, it is not found, somebody revealed that there are trillions of dollars worth jewels, gemstones, diamonds, and everything that are kept in underground cellars surrounding the sanctum of Lord Ananta Padmanabha. So he became famous again like that. And that's a very big history in the last 20 years we have seen. And it brings out, we are not worried or we are not specifically bothered about how much gemstones and diamonds Lord has, because Lord in Vaikuntha, he lives in Chintamani Pragara Sadma Sukalpa Vriksha. So he lives in the Chintamani Dham. So in earthly planet also, he can have many diamonds and whatnot. It's nothing very wonderful. But what is wonderful is the relationship between this Lord and his devotees. The relationship between this Lord and the devotees is something very wonderful. So that is the interesting history of this very famous temple in the south of India, where Lord Ananta Padmanabha is actually Garbhodakashayi Vishnu deity form, because the deity, if and when you do come to Thiruvananthapuram to take darshan of Lord Ananta Padmanabha, you will see that from the deity's Nabhi, from his navel, a stem sprouts, and then there's a lotus, and then Lord Brahma is sitting on the lotus. It is part of the deity structure itself. That is how the deity is. And there are so many wonderful historical things that is surrounding this particular Anantapura. Anantapura in the previous days used to be known. The Sanskrit name of this place used to be Syanandurapuram. And the Lord's temple and the surroundings totally is made up of 7 acres of land. It's a huge temple. How do I say it? To take one circumambulation of the temple is about 800 odd meters. That huge, the outside, parikrama that is within the temple. The parikrama inside the temple would be about 800 meters to do one parikrama. So that big. That is just to give you an idea of how big the temple is. So if you do some, 10 circumambulations of Ananta Padmanabha Swami, you will even cover your daily walking distance as well. Now, how this deity came to be? The present deity that we see in Anantapura, it was established sometime in the 17th century. And it is a deity that is 18 feet in length, where the Lord is lying down on his serpent bed called Ananta. So that is why he is called Ananta Padmanabha Swami. He's lying down, and he is also having, how do I express it? He's lying down on one side with his face tilted slightly towards the devotees, and then he also holding one hand below his body level. And under that, you will find Lord Shiva having taken shelter of Lord Padmanabha. So when we take darshan of Lord Padmanabha, we also get darshan of Lord Shiva in the linga form, where Lord Shiva has taken shelter of Lord Ananta Padmanabha. The deity is 18 feet long, as I said, and the single deity darshan can be had only through 3 separate doorways. These are all very, very unique. There is one doorway where you can see only his face just below his neck, and then his navel portion can be seen through the middle door, and then the lotus feet is at the 3rd door. But if you stand in front of the 3rd door, you cannot see the lotus feet because the deity and the temple is structured like that. So the particular vantage point where you stand, only from that particular angle, you will be actually able to take darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is how huge Ananta Padmanabha is. He is really a sight to behold. So it would be my request to all the assembled devotees that please do come once and take darshan of our wonderful Lord Ananta Padmanabha. And I can tell you that you won't be disappointed. So that is just to give you an idea. This illustration is just to give you an idea, but believe me, it's nothing like this. It's much bigger in scale, much bigger in majesty. And how do I say it? You have to come and see it for yourself. Then only you will know. Okay. And the other wonderful thing about this deity that we see as it is today, this deity is made of 12,000 salagram shilas put together. 12,000 salagram shilas put together, this deity has been made, and they are held together by one Ayurvedic mix of herbs. So like that, the deity is held together in this Anantashai form of the Lord. And the king who consecrated this deity has also kept another 12,000 salagram shilas as a contingency measure. And it is said that these Salagram Shilas came all the way from Nepal, because as we all know, Salagram Shilas are in the Gandaki river in Nepal. And the legend is that elephants themselves, without anybody showing the way, they carried these 24,000 Salagram Shilas and they came, because Nepal is in Himalayas and Anantapuri is near the ocean. So they traveled all the way and they brought this many Salagram Shilas. Now, for those of you who know about the, what can I say, the effect of Salagram Shila. As all of you know, Salagram Shila is self-manifested Lord Vishnu. And Salagram Shila, the speciality of Salagram Shila is that Salagram Shila does not require to be, there is no need for doing Prana Pratishtha for Salagram Shila, because Lord is already present. You don't have to do anything special. Also, Salagram Shila, in Puranas, the Mahatmya of Salagram Shila is given that where there is Salagram Shila, 4 krosas of diameter around the Salagram Shila becomes a kshetra. 4 crores means something like, I think, few kilometers. So that much diameter around that Salagram Shila actually becomes a kshetra, means a holy place. So when you come and take darshan of Lord Ananta Padmanabha, that is that the effect transcendently multiplied 10,000 times. That is Lord Ananta. When we take darshan of Lord Ananta Padmanabha, we remember these things. And also, he is covered with this black mixture. Underneath this mixture, you can also see one portion of the hand that is exposed, that is pure gold, and it is studded with so many valuable jewels. And this, as I said, is done in the 1700s by the king of that time, Tiruvidampur. Okay, can you hear now? Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji, you're audible, but sometimes when you are moving, your voice starts fading away.
I don't know, maybe if I am going soft or maybe the internet. Anyway, I'll try to be loud. So, Lord Ananta Padmanabha in this particular form is residing here since very, very long time. I'm talking, this what I described is about the deity as we see him. Previously, how the Lord came to be, there is a very big history. And it is back towards the time of Vilwamangala Swami. That is our Vilwamangal Thakur, who wrote the Krishna Karnamrita. So down in the south, they speak about 3 personalities. All of them were known as the same Vilwamangal Thakur, but they lived during different times. And there is a very interesting history to this particular sadhu, that he was always worshipping a Salagram Shila. And because his devotion was so great, the Lord used to come as a small child. And while this sadhu is doing puja, he will play around with the sadhu. And he used to regularly play. The sadhu was very, very kind to this child. But one day, the child was disturbing the puja so much that this sadhu dismissed him with his left hand like this. Just go, something like that. So the boy, that small boy, immediately disappeared, and he told this particular sadhu, Vilomangal Thakur, that if you want to see me again, you have to come to the forest of Ananta. This is what the child said. So this sadhu goes in search of this forest, and he finally comes and finds this forest. So as he comes to this forest, in front of him, something very wonderful happens. A huge tree, which was 5 miles in height, it's a huge Vatavriksha, fell down. And that Vatavriksha, that huge tree, actually covered, when it fell down, it covered a distance of like 5 miles. That is present day, the head of the tree was a place which is now in Tamil Nadu, and the root of the tree was now what we see in Kerala, that long. And the sadhu immediately understood that the Lord is present in that tree, in that daru. And so immediately he tells the Lord that if you are going to lie like this, nobody will be able to worship you. So you do one thing, you become a size small enough for human beings to worship you. That is how that daru became 18 feet. And the Anantashayana deity was made from that daru. So once the sadhu decided that this is the Lord's form, in the form of Lord, in the form of daru, has now made himself, prakat, appeared in front of him, he wanted to make some offering. And this is dense forest, and there is nothing there to offer. So he will walk around. It is a forest area. So there is one small hut. Some woman is there. So he will ask her, do you have anything? So she will say, I have some broken rice. So immediately he will make some fire. He will cook that broken rice into a porridge and put some salt. And he wants to offer the Lord something with something. So then he will see nearby there is a mango tree. So he'll pluck a mango, put some salt in the mango, and this rice porridge and this mango with salt, he will offer the Lord. And he does not have any golden plate or silver plate or even a steel plate to offer the Lord. So what does he do? He will get broken coconut. When you break open a coconut, you will have like 2 bowls. It opens it like. And once you remove the flesh from inside, then it becomes like a paka, 2 bowls. So in that coconut bowl, he offered this to Lord Anantapadmanabha and made the first offering to the Lord and requested the Lord that you please start accepting worship. And that, what Vilomangala offered first time, that coconut husk is now covered in gold and kept in the temple. And one time a day, in the evening, every day, the Lord will get this rice and this salt mango offering on a daily basis. You won't believe, there is an executive officer in Padmanabha Swami temple who is in charge of making this salt mango. You know, a whole mango is put into brine and then it is preserved. You know, as you know, mango season in India, it is seasonal. You won't get it throughout the year. So whenever mango is available, they will store huge quantities of whole mangoes completely, you know, absorbed in brine, you know, salt water. Every day one will be offered to Lord. And it is one of the most sought after prasadam in Padmanabha Swami temple. You won't get it so easily. And that is related to that very simple offering that the sage made to the Lord. So again, how the Lord is so merciful that he accepted that very small offering. And the Lord stayed in that Daru form. Till the 16th century, Lord stayed in Daru form. And around 16th century, there was a huge fire and the temple was gutted. So it was in the 17th century, that time the king, in the beginning of the 17th century, that king, he again made the deity out of this Saligram Shilas, and that is what we see today. And in 1750, there was this great king of Travancore who was chased by all his enemies and he was about to lose his kingdom. There was a lot of political turmoil. And he was a great devotee of Lord Padmanabha. And when he got out of all his trouble and eventually became peaceful, he came in front of Lord Padmanabha and surrendered his crown and his sword in front of Padmanabha and said that me and my kingdom are in your service. And officially, he offered himself and the kingdom to Lord Padmanabha. And that tradition continues till date. And in front of Lord Padmanabha, what you will see is a mandapam that is made of a single stone. It is huge, that because the Lord himself is 18 feet. So you can imagine that is more length and breadth. It is a single stone. And that is a stone on which, because Lord is in Anantapuri temple, the Lord is at the sanctum sanctorum is at a height. So you have to climb some steps, step on this single stone mandapa, and then take darshan of the Lord. And only one who has fully surrendered, which means this king and his descendants, only will pay obeisances to the Lord standing on that mandapa. That is a privilege that only the king has. And until today, it is the rule that whoever is the descendant in that kingdom, who is, today there are no kings, but whoever is the descendant who is now the senior most in the family, every day they have to come and take darshan of the Lord. The previous days, it was that every day the king would come and give report in front of the Lord, because the Lord is the actual king, because the king has surrendered himself to the Lord. So every day the servant must come and report to the master, this is what is happening in your kingdom, like that. So previously this used to be there. And whenever some kingly duties take the king away from Anantapuri, then for each day that he is absent, he will pay a fine. And every month that fine will be calculated for the number of days he is absent, and that will be paid as a fine to Lord. So to that extent, these Kshatriyas, they were so devoted to Anantapadmanabha that they were willing to pay fine for not visiting the Lord. And also, Because the king knew that the Lord's worship should go on eternally without any problem. That is why he made all those cellars behind the sanctum sanctorum of Ananda Padmanabha, and he stored all gold and valuable jewels and so many golden Ananda Padmanabha, and there are so many golden utensils, golden chains, and all ornaments that can be adorned on the Lord for the Utsava times. Everything is kept in these cellars. Estimated that thousands and thousands of kilos of gold and hundreds of thousands of precious stones are stored in those cellars. All this the king was doing simply with an intention of serving the Lord. So today when you come, you can see that Lord Ananda Padmanabha is lying like that. And because this deity is made of this herbal mixture, there cannot be any abhishekam. Just like for Lord Jagannath, because he's Daru, there is only abhishekam once a year for Snan Yatra. For Ananda Padmanabha, even for one day a year, there cannot be any abhishekam because, cannot be done. So every day abhishekam is performed only to the Utsava deity of the Lord. Lord Padmanabha in his standing form, along with Shri Devi, Lakshmi Devi and Bhudevi, both his consorts on his two sides. Every day morning, 3:45, the Lord will receive his Abhisheka. Every day morning, 3 a.m., the Lord will wake up, and around 3:40, 3:45 a.m., his ritual bathing will start. That is on that mandapam where he will be kept, and then Abhishekam will be performed. And then the various pujas for the day will be performed. And as we enter the Ananda Padmanabha Swami temple, you will also see that normally in Vishnu temples, we will see Garuda. In Ananda Padmanabha Swami temple, we will see, as we enter on two sides, you will see that there is Garuda on one side, 8 feet height Garuda. And on the other side, there is 8 feet height Anjaneya. Hanuman is also there. And this Hanuman, every day, he will be completely covered in butter offered by different devotees. Every day, he will be covered in butter and he will give darshan fully covered in butter. That is another wonderful sight to behold when you visit the Ananda Padmanabha Swami temple. Also, the Lord is on his right side, just outside, we will also see Lord Nrsingadev sitting as Yoga Nrsinga. He will be sitting in that yoga posture, and Lord Yoga Nrsinga is there. Although the Lord Nrsinga is sitting in that Yoga Nrsinga position, his bhava is very ugra. And there is also this very famous history that a king came to attack the temple. This is some few hundred years ago. One of the invading kings came to attack the Anantapuri temple. And as he was approaching the temple, he saw that there is fire emanating out of the temple. And it was also putting the temple in fire, because the fire was coming from Lord Nrsingadev. And in front of him fire, so some part of temple also caught fire. And the invading king had to run away because the fire was coming, so strongly towards the invading army. So that history is also very mystical things happening in Lord Ananta Padmanabha's abode in Anantapuri. And also, Padmanabha had another very famous, great devotee. His name is King Kulashekara. And Srila Prabhupada has written some purports, and rest has been written by his disciples. So we also recite the Mukunda Mala Stotra, that is recited by King Kulashekara, who was also a great devotee of Padmanabha, who was also one of the kings of Travancore. And in the museum, even today, we can see King Kulashekara's helmet, the crown that he used to wear on his head. This is a very strange looking crown King Kulashekara used to wear, because normally you see king's crowns, they would be bedecked and there will be, very designer crowns they used to wear. But King Kulashekara's crown, even today you can see it in the museum, that it's like a helmet, and then there are 2 feet on top of that. He designed his crown in such a way that he put 2 lotus feet of the Lord on top of the crown, and he will wear that crown, which means I am always under the lotus feet of the Lord. So great devotee kings through generations have served this Lord. And the Lord has also reciprocated very, very wonderfully. And the wonders do not stop here. We will see also outside, just outside, after visiting Ananda Padmanabha, and on the left there is Lord Nrsimha, and just outside there is also Lord Krishna's deity worshipped separately. And behind we will find 2 personalities. They are also placed in this same temple. One is Vedavyasa, and facing him, sitting, is Ashwatthama. So these 2 personalities you will see when we go. We will see Vyasadeva facing us, and on the side you will see Ashwatthama paying obeisance in Namaskara Mudra, sitting next to Vyasa. Because Ashwatthama, he is wandering around now after the curse by Draupadi. He is wandering around. But in the next Yuga, he is going to be the Vyasa. So he also takes lessons from Veda Vyasa, because he has to become the next Vyasa. So that is portrayed in this temple, that Veda Vyasa is sitting and giving lessons to Ashwatthama. That also is something that you will only see in Anantapuri temple. And everywhere in the world, you will find, at least in India, all the traditional established temples, you will find every year the Lord will have one Utsava. Everywhere there will be one Utsava. The other, like Janmashtami and Ram Navami and all the other festivals, they will be normally conducted. Then every year the Lord will have Utsava. It is either on the day the Lord is consecrated, or a special day, or an Ekadashi day. There will be some 3-day festival, 5-day festival, 7-day festival, 10-day festival. Lord Ananda Padmanabha has 2 festivals every year, and both are 10-day festivals. 2 festivals every 6 months. One is around March, April. The other one is around October, November. 2 festivals are there, and there will be Lord coming out every day evening during the festival on various bedecked vahanas. Vahanas are palanquins made of silver, and each day the palanquin will be designed in a different way. And the Lord will be sitting on top of the palanquin, and then he will go around that huge, parikrama marg, and devotees can stand on both sides and take darshan of them. And every day he will go out, and on the last day of the festival, which is called Arat, or the ritual bathing ceremony of the Lord. Normally in many temples, you will find that the Lord, there will be a temple pond. some sarovar will be there in the temple, and they will take the Lord, the Utsava Murti of the Lord, and Lord will have his ritual bathing done there. Ananda Padmanabha is very special. He will go twice a year to the sea. In the beach, there is a Snana Mandapa. So deity form will be taken there, and he will be kept there. Then the pujaris will take the deities to the sea, and then the Lord will take a dip in the sea. And this happens twice a year. And what is more unique is that the Lord will travel by walk. Means the pujaris carry him on there. So many pujaris will be there on the palanquin, they'll be carrying him. And 2 days a year, while the Lord, because from Ananda Padmanabha Swami temple to the beach, the direct road takes a cut across the runway of the Trivandrum International Airport. So on these 2 days a year, for about 6 hours of the day, all international flights will be rescheduled accordingly. Because under heavy security, the Lord will enter the airport, cross the runway, go to the beach, take his ritual bath, and he'll come back to the temple. So this also, you will never hear anywhere in the world anything parallel to Anantapuri temple. So this is Lord Ananda Padmanabha, who Lord Nityananda took darshan of, Lord Balarama took darshan of, and is very, very merciful, very reciprocating to his devotees, giving shelter, because that Abhaya Hasta that we see in Ananda Padmanabha Swami temple is very unique. As I said earlier, Lord Shiva is sitting under that Abhaya Hastam of Ananda Padmanabha. And the Lord is very merciful and giving darshan to all the devotees all around the world, giving all blessings. And it is indeed a transcendental experience. I just wanted to share this with all the devotees here, because although we are in Chaitanya Bhagavata and we're talking about Lord Nityananda visiting, but me being a resident of Anantapuri, right now where I am sitting, for me it is an 18-minute walk from where I sit to where Lord Ananda Padmanabha is giving darshan. Without traffic, if I walk 18 minutes is my time to reach the temple. So I thought this is very, very coincidental that when I got these verses and I went through them, I saw this Anantapuri. So I thought I just wanted to share this. So Nityananda then went to Anantapura, and after that he went to Panchapsara Kunda. He next visited the temple of Shiva known as Gokarna. Gokarna is in Karnataka. It is in the Uttar Kannada region of Karnataka. And that is another region that is very, very, what you call, Uttara and Dakshina Kannada region are very spiritually potent places. You will find a lot of devotees related to that place, that part of India. Like Madhvacharya is from there. And in our lineage, of course, we are also from the Madhva Sampradaya. We are a branch. Also, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Jiva Goswami, they are also from that part. So, Gokarna is a place where there is this Mahabaleshwara. Lord Shiva is residing there as Mahabaleshwara. And it is said that Sthala Purana says that is deity, the Linga form deity given by Lord Shiva to Ravana. And when Ravana tried to pull the deity, so the deity developed 2 ears like a cow and threw Ravana away. So that is how that place got the name Gokarna. Go means cow, Karna means ears. So the deity became, the Linga deity became shaped like the ears of a cow and threw Ravana away. So that is Mahabaleshwara in Gokarna. That place also Lord Nityananda visited Gokarnakhya Gela Prabhu Shivera Mandire Kerale Trigartake Bule Gare Gare. He also visited various places in Trigarta. Dvaipayani Aryadekhi Nityanandaray Nirvindhya Payasvini Tapti. So these are all different rivers in different parts of India. Tapti is in Maharashtra, Western India region. Payasvini is again North Kerala. Nirvindhya is Central India. Reva Mahishmati Puri Mallatirthe Gela Surparaka Diya Prabhu Pratichi Chalila. So he also went to the city of Mahishmati on the banks of Reva, yet another river. And Mallatirtha, another Tirtha. The Lord then passed the holy district of Surparaka on his way west. Aimata Abhaya Paramanandarai Brahme Nityananda Bhaya Nahika Kahai. The fearless, ecstatic Nityananda Prabhu traveled this way without fear of anyone. Pilgrimage is meant for fearless people. If you are fearful, you won't be a good pilgrim. So Nityananda Prabhu is epitomizing that pilgrim spirit by traveling nirbhaya without any fear. Because now we have, very wonderful arrangements for doing our pilgrimage. We take a flight, we get on at the airport, we have our prepaid taxi waiting, we will go to the guest house, and we'll have our air-conditioned room booked there. So we take our bath, we just go down, we take darshan like this. We have very sophisticated pilgrimage in the modern days, but then real pilgrimage means it is a very, very, only those people who are nirbhaya would undertake pilgrimage. In the previous days, when somebody is going on a pilgrimage, many times, because one becomes a vanaprasthi, then he practically says goodbye to the family and goes on pilgrimage. Because once you start on a pilgrimage, there is no guarantee that you will even come back. Because you may leave your body on your way because you are planning to travel from one kshetra to the other, one tirtha to the other. Like that, if you keep traveling, sometimes something may happen, something may go amiss, and then you may leave your body and go. So here in Chaitanya Bhagavata, it is saying that Nityananda Prabhu very fearlessly he traveled throughout like this. So fearless travel can only be done by somebody who is also very surrendered. So we must always think that when we are visiting Tirtha, the consciousness should be such that, I'll simply depend on the Lord and undertake my pilgrimage and be at the mercy of the Lord. So that even if something goes wrong, I am in Tirtha, all the better. That is what we should always think. Because when we go to a holy Tirtha, if we are able to spend time there, take association of wonderful devotees, of Mahatmas, and bathe ourselves in all the holy rivers, etc., greatly beneficial for us. And holy Tirtha, if we were to leave our body, that is also very good for us, because a holy Tirtha will always have its effect, transcendental effect on us. So either way, we should always be very, very happy to surrender ourselves to the Lord and go on Tirtha Yatra. Just like how Nityananda Prabhu did, very, very fearlessly, moving very freely from one Tirtha to the next. Because it's not as if from Kanyakumari he can, sit in the train and reach, Thiruvananthapuram within 4 to 6 hours, and then he can get down and then take the next darshan, and then he can go to Payasvini river. It doesn't work that way. You have to go from one place to the next, simply depending on the Lord's mercy, and whatever happens on the way, everything is left to the Lord's mercy. So like that, one should fearlessly travel in pilgrimage. So that is the essence of Tirtha Yatra. That is also brought out very nicely in this particular shloka 145. sorry, 152. That Eimata Abhaya Paramanandaraya Brahme Nityananda Bhaya Nahika, without fear traveling. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. Thank you so much for the opportunity to discuss this katha today with all of you in the guise of Chaitanya Bhagavat. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class. And it was so relishable to hear the pastimes, the glories of Lord Ananta Padmanabha Swami. So he was was really able to visualize the temple, the Lord, everything very, very nicely. Thanks to your description. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I am also staying here in separation from Lord Ananta Padmanabha Swami. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Even if it inspires one person to come and visit Lord Ananta Padmanabha, I would consider myself very fortunate. That's the whole idea.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
and there are also, okay, sorry Mataji, please go ahead.
Sorry, Mataji, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I missed the last part, so I was not sure if you also covered the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footprints over there, that part. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, that is a very, very recent happening.
Yes.
We have also established Lord Chaitanya's footprint in the Padmanabha Swami temple. And in South India now, it is our latest project, ISKCON South India as a whole. We have listed all the places visited by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and whichever temple Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has visited, we are searching out and getting in touch with the temple authorities to try and put Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footprints in all those temples wherever it is possible. So we have done it in Trivandrum. In Tiruvattar Adikeswar temple, we are in the process, but not inside the temple. They won't allow us. So we are doing it just outside the temple. Also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Varkala, that is Janardana Swami temple. That's also again another seaside temple. Again in Tiruvananthapuram district only, but it is some far, about 1.5 hours from Ananda Padmanabha temple. So there also we have got a place, and we would be placing the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu also, in Kanyakumari district also, we are in the process of doing that. And in other, what you call, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, everywhere we are in the process. So in the next coming maybe a year or so, we would like to put Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's footprints wherever he has, whichever kshetra he has visited. Some very scholarly devotees have worked very deeply on this, and they've identified most of the modern day places. A few of them are still a mystery, what is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, but most of them have now been covered and confirmed that these are the places. So we are in the process, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Lalitangi Mataji, please go ahead. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, sorry for interrupting you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I don't have words how you took us to the temple there. It's so nostalgic to hear that, especially we are away for a long time. Thank you so much. And the glorification is not complete if without hearing Gokula Mataji's singing of Padmanabha. If she is around, she can be off video, but it's a request that everybody here would like to hear the song if she's there.
I don't know if she's listening. I'll just.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity.
Mataji, Mataji, but voice is fading. Can you come closer to the mic, Mataji, please?
Okay, Mataji. Is it audible now?
Mataji, please try to be very close, Mataji. Once in a while, it is going off and on. The voice is going low. Even when Prabhu was giving the class, it was happening like that. Please be closer to the mic, Mataji.
Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, it is there, but again, it's like it's coming like from so far. You are.
I think the internet is such a big problem today. I think. Krishna?
Yes. Now you're audible.
Am I audible? Okay, Mataji. Paduma Nabha Parama Purusha Param Jyoti Swarupa Vidura Vandya Vimala Sarita Vihangadi Rohana Udadi Nivasa Puragashayana Nato Nata Mahima Yadukulotama Yagna Rakshaka Yagna Sikshaka Ramana Vibhishana Palaka Namo Namo Ibhavaradayaka Namo Shubhaprada Sumanorada Surendra Manoranjana Abhinava Purandara Vitalla Ballare Ramanama Padumanabha Parama Purusa Param Jyoti Swarupa Vidura Vandya Vimala Charita Vihangadi Rohana Udadi Nivasa Uragashayana Natunata Mahima Yadukulotama Yagnarakshaka Yagna Sikshaka Ramanama Vibhishana Palaka Namo Namo Vibhavaradayaka Namo Namo Shubhaprada Sumanorada Surendra Manoranjana Abhinava Purandara Vallare Ramana. Thank you, Mataji. This song is composed by Purandaras in Kannada. Lord Padmanabha. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, wonderful singing, Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Lalitangi.
Oh, I don't have words. I don't really have words. It's so nostalgic to hear you sing. So many times when we are together, you used to sing this song when we went to Vrindavan.
Yeah, Lalitangi is actually an inspiration for me.
Oh, come on. Please.
Right from the college, she is my inspiration. So I cannot, every day I always think of her because of what I am today is because of Lalitangi.
No, please go. No, thank you so much, and it's really, really nice. I was hoping you would be able to sing. It is so nice, and what we have heard and relished so many times. I thought you can sing
Thank
to
you
other
for that.
devotees in
I'm
this
singing
forum
after
also.
so many years. I'm singing. Thank you so much, Lalita.
Thank you so much, Gokula. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class. And it's wonderful. We would like to come there, and personally, you both can guide us on a yatra. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. I hope it was inspiring for everyone to. The whole idea of kshetras, tirthas is that it inspires us to do more and better devotional service to the Lord. That's it. So I just thought that, there is a majesty side to the Lord, and I have seen, or in my limited experience, I see Ananta Padmanabha really bring out that majestic side of the Lord. So Lord has many, many unlimited facets, and the majestic facet of the Lord, I just feel his size and the way he is and how he is worshipped like that. So thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. I really liked the whole description, how Ananta Padmanabha temple and how the king used. Don't make that sound, please, from the how everything is stored for Lord's service itself. So Prabhu, that time when the wealth was removing, there were so many stories that like how when they were opening the doors, because they are doing it without Lord's willing. So many things had happened. Is that true to hear? I mean, that is all make stories, or was it really happening? Some people were killed because of they opened the doors.
No, that is a lot of it was stories, but then I know a family friend who knew the judge, because this went all the way up to the Supreme Court in India, and it was a huge litigation. And then they appointed a panel which was headed by a judge, and he had to be of a certain, because caste, otherwise they won't let him inside. So he was a by caste Brahmana. He was a judge also. So he was the one who was opening the first cellar or whatever. And as he was entering, his head hit on the top of the cellar and he broke his head. So immediately he recused himself from the case. He said he won't head the panel anymore, which I know it happened as a fact. So then after that, basically what happened is that, other people, even the other judges, even if you are a Supreme Court judge, you will have some fear of God. So it stopped there actually, it didn't go any further. That's what actually happened. The deaths and other things are all unfair. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for selling. And also that Gokarna temple also, I was thinking, what is this Gokarna? Because only we heard it in Srimad Bhagavatam, this initially the glories of Bhagavatam, there I heard this name, and I was thinking where from this name is coming. Thank you so much for explaining. I have little knowledge about temples and have been very less places, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for making us feel to go there at least one time in our lifetime. I don't know when
Mataji's, Prabhuji's, that entire South Canara belt is very spiritually endowed. Udupi and Sringeri, and there's a whole belt of places with a lot of temples, very wonderful places. Everyone should visit actually. Because Madhva is also our Purvacharya. So we should visit Udupi. Very wonderful. Gokarna is also in that belt only. So nice places, worth visiting.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for detailed explanation. I'm very happy that these verses came to you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
I don't know if some people have questions, Prabhuji. Just give me a couple of minutes. Is there anybody having any questions, realizations? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhu, when you were saying that our Bilvamangal Swami, 3 three of them I think you have mentioned. Yeah, can you please explain on that a little bit more?
See, we did have some discussions on this. Means we devotees in Kerala with this because it is a matha, and every time the Mathathipati would be called as the Vilomangala Swami. So the Vilomangal Thakur that Srila Prabhupada speaks about is that personality who wrote the Krishna Karnamrita. You know, so then the historical experts are telling us that there were three of them. They lived in three different centuries. So this Leela, there are different Leelas associated with this person with this name. So then they said there are actually three different people, all of them, that is, I think, 3rd century, 9th century, 12th century, something like that. So all three of them were different personalities, but they all of them were very great devotees, and all these different Leelas attributed could be what you call, can be shared between these three. This is how we understand it.
So Prabhuji, I mean, please forgive me if I'm not getting it right. Can we understand this is the same Bilvamangal Thakur, like whom Prabhupada mentions and we keep hearing, is the same personality came in the form of three people?
No, three people with the same, like we say, no, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, two different persons. But 500 years down the road, no, people will mix up between the two Prabhupads. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu, I get it. Yes.
So that Vilomangala is like an honorific, you know.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
If anybody have any question or realization. Prabhuji, such an amazing class, lot of information I got today. It's such a very beautiful, and you talk about pastimes and glories of Padmanabh, Lord Padmanabh, and how you took us, everything. Just I can visualize over there because I went over there, but I couldn't go to the temple. That was my unluck. So today you took me over there. So it's very nice to hear the story of that whole thing. So I can see by my visualize how the Lord is there, Padmanabh Lord. So it's very wonderful, Prabhuji. So, and
next time you come, you contact me. I can take you on a guided tour, free.
Sure, Prabhuji. And I want to tell Mataji's song of bhajan very, very beautifully. Wow, it was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I like that whoever is fully surrendered to the Krishna, only they can do the like a pilgrimage without any fear. That is, I like it. So, and thank you very much, Prabhuji. If your permission, we can end. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your very enlightened class today. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, and we are very, very grateful to you. And we are looking forward to your association again in future, Prabhuji. So, Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavata Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Grace Govardhan Giri Das Prabhuji Ki Jai. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you everyone for joining today's class. We'll meet tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.